Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a jam-packed video for you guys. We're going to be wrapping my November and December beauty reports all into one video because at this point I feel like that's kind of what makes the most sense. Unfortunately, between being sick and starting my new job, I was unable to film and get my November beauty report up a couple of weeks ago when I had wanted to. So at this point, knowing that I want to do like a best of 2019 series anyway, I figured I would give you an overview of the products I was testing last month, the things I've been testing so far in December, and then I will do like a big end of 2019 wrap up, hopefully before the end of the year. Now in today's video, I'm primarily just going to be talking about makeup and a few lifestyle things that I've been testing. I'm not going to be talking about any skincare because I'm going to be doing an entire video dedicated to that topic. Also sharing some thoughts on my experience of going fragrance free for a month. So I'm planning on filming that video as soon as I'm done filming this video, so hopefully that will be going up very soon as well. Anyway, like I said, we have got a lot to cover today, so I'm sure this is going to be a super long video. I'll try to put some timestamps in the description box for you guys if you want to skip ahead to particular sections or products. But yeah, without me rambling on any further, let's get into this 2-month beauty report. So before we get into the makeup, I do have a few lifestyle products that I've been testing out that I wanted to update you guys on. So I think sometime in October, Hum Nutrition reached out to me asking if I'd like to try some of their products. And I was actually very excited that they reached out to me because their Raw Beauty Superfood Greens powder had been on my Sephora loves list for no lie, like at least a year. I will insert a picture here for proof of this. I got a sample of their mint chocolate chip version of that powder in a Sephora order that I had placed, and I randomly decided to try it out one day and really liked it. I thought it tasted pretty delicious. So anyway, Hum reached out to me. They let me pick out a few different products to test out, which was awesome because, fun fact about me, I have a really hard time swallowing pills, and a lot of their products are in gel capsule or tablet form, which I know for most people is probably preferable, but for yours truly, I am all about anything that's like a powder I can dissolve in water or like gummy vitamins because I have a really hard time with anything I have to swallow. So the 3 products that I picked out to test were naturally the Raw Beauty Green Superfood powder. I opted to get the coconut and pineapple version though, not because the mint chocolate chip one wasn't delicious, but I like the fact that I could have this one on its own or I could mix it into smoothies. I feel like the mint chocolate chip one probably wouldn't be as good for that purpose. And then I also got the Glow Sweet Glow Skin Hydration for the Ultimate Glow gummy vitamins that have hyaluronic acid, vitamins C and E, and then the Collagen Pop Premium Marine Collagen and Vitamin C Skin Boost. Now, I don't want to spend like 15 minutes of this video just talking about these supplements, so I will link them all for you guys in the description box if you want to read more about them and read more about what's in them. I will give you my sort of overall thoughts on my experience of using them and whether or not I personally would repurchase these. I will also make the disclaimer that even though I work in healthcare, I'm not a doctor, and I think it's always best to talk to your doctor before you start any new dietary supplements or vitamins, especially if you have any existing conditions or are on any medications, because you never know how things are going to interact. So let's start out with the Raw Beauty Green Superfood powder because this was the product that I had previously tried. Now, this basically, it's like, you know, if you go to a smoothie shop and you get like mix-ins into your smoothie, that's kind of what this is. It is a green powder and it can be consumed on its own, so you can mix it into water or into almond milk. I think it tastes amazing in almond milk. I'm sure coconut milk, whatever, would also work fine too. Or you can mix it into a smoothie, and it basically has a blend of like probiotics and digestive enzymes and different green plants that have really good properties to help boost your metabolism. It also has fiber, antioxidants, different fruits and vegetables. Like I said, there is a lot in here, so I definitely would recommend going to the Hum website and reading more about what is in this guy, but I just definitely felt like whenever I used this, it gave me a lot more energy. It also really helped my stomach. I have lactose intolerance, another fun fact about me, and I do have some food sensitivities, and I felt like my stomach was a lot happier when I was using this. I've noticed like when I eat dairy, it bothers me less, probably just because this sort of like helped me rebalance my good gut bacteria. There are 30 servings in this jar, so obviously this is a month's supply if you're using it every single day. I have found that I don't necessarily use it every single day. I say the days I'm making smoothies, or if I don't have time for breakfast in the morning, and again, I want to get some good nutrition into my body instead of, just drinking coffee and nothing else, I'll throw a shot of this into some almond milk, and that will definitely make me feel like I'm at least doing something slightly more nutritious for my body. Then as far as the Glow Sweet Glow and the collagen pop supplements, I have enjoyed both of these. I think they both taste amazing. The Glow Sweet Glow are like creamsicle flavored, and they are delicious. If anything, you kind of have to be careful because these are dietary supplements. They're not candy. The recommended serving is 2 gummies per day. So like you really don't want to overdo it and eat more of these, even though you may be tempted. But I feel like it is a little bit hard for me to say whether or not I've noticed a significant difference in my skin in taking these because of the time of year that it is. I started taking these in November, and that was sort of the time at which the weather was transitioning from very warm to very cold, and I started running my forced air heat. So I've noticed that my skin has gone from being super oily to a lot more normal to dry recently. So I feel like, I don't know if this was the best time for me to test these, because I feel like that definitely is affecting my skin, and so I don't know how well these are working or if I would notice the benefits. To that point, I also feel like with this kind of supplement, you're not going to see results right away. You'll have to be taking it pretty diligently for at least a month. And obviously, I have not gone through this whole thing yet. I'm going to be completely real with you guys. When I got sick, it completely threw me off my normal routine, and I have not been very good since then about taking my vitamins. So that's the thing that I definitely need to get back to. So basically, I don't know if I would necessarily repurchase these because they are a little bit more on the expensive side, and I really don't know that they're working, but I haven't noticed any adverse effects from taking these either. The same thing goes with the collagen pop. These are wild strawberry and lemon flavored. They're actually really cool. You get 3 of these little vials inside of this box, and each one of these has 10 tablets in them. And basically, you just take one of these little tablets. I'll show you what they look like. They kind of look like giant sweet tarts. And you just pop one of these into a glass of water, and then once it dissolves, you drink it. And again, they taste pretty good. It gives the water an interesting texture. I almost feel like I'm drinking watered down Jello, and I think obviously that's because of the collagen in here, which kind of has that almost gelatin-like sort of feel to it when you dissolve it in water. So again, I'm not really sure whether or not this has been doing anything for my skin. I'm going to need to continue to use these into the winter now that my skin definitely has changed with the weather, and see if I notice any difference in the next month. But at the very least, this has gotten me to drink more water, which is a good thing. And it does also have vitamin C in it, which, is supposed to be good for your complexion and good for your immune system. Now, the lovely folks over at Hum were also kind enough to give me doubles of the collagen pop and the Raw Beauty Green Superfood powder to give away to one of you guys. So if you'd like to enter to win your own Hum products to try, leave a comment down below. And let's see, I don't think there's a hummingbird emoji, so let's use this little flower emoji. Just write a comment down below, put that little flower emoji in it so that way I know that you are interested in entering the giveaway. And you can really honestly comment whatever you want. Let me know which of these Hum products you'd be most curious in. If you've tried something from Hum before, let me know what you recommend, or just let me know how your day is going. I'll also ask for you to leave a way for me to contact you if you are the winner. I typically will pin the winning comment and reply back to you, letting you know the that you've won, but I don't think there's a way for me to like directly message you through YouTube anymore. So if you can leave your Instagram handle or Twitter handle or your email, whatever you're most comfortable with, in your comment, I will use that to reach out to you as well. So on that note, let's move in to some makeup. There have been so many new things that I've been trying lately, so many new things I've been loving lately, and one thing that I have very much not been loving to tell you guys about. So let's start off talking about these guys here from ColourPop. These are their blush and light sticks. I got this duo from their Bye Bye Birdie collection that I purchased, I think sometime maybe back at the end of October. I think this duo was called in a Twitter. It has the shades Magpie and Hen Party, and I have been absolutely loving these so much. It's been a long time since I have purchased a cream stick blush or highlight, but these quite possibly may be my favorite ones that I think I've ever tried. In particular, this shade Hen Party, the blush, I think is so absolutely stunning. It is the most perfect, neutral, peachy pinky kind of everyday blush shade that I think would look so flattering on so many people. Not only that, but the texture of this is beautiful. It blends out so nicely and it just looks really natural and healthy and flushed on the cheeks. It's just one of the best, easiest, everyday things to reach for. And for a cream product, I feel like the lasting power was pretty decent as well. Like any cream blush is not going to stay as vibrant as a powder over the course of a very long day. And of course, you can't beat the price. It's ColourPop. I think each of these retails for $7 a piece. I think the bundle was $12 maybe, and I got it on sale, so I got it even cheaper, which was amazing. But even at the full price, if it is $7, I feel like this would be totally worth it. You're getting a lot of product in here. A little goes a long way, so I think this would last you a really long time. The highlight shade Magpie, I also think is pretty. It's maybe not my favorite. I don't love it as much as I love the blush, because for me, I feel like this is more of almost like a blush topper because it is a very strong pink undertone to it. So when it hits the light, as you can see, it's beautifully reflective. But when it's not in the light, it's a little bit dark. So I think you have to be careful with your placement of this. If you put it up too high, it might look a little weird on you, especially if you have a fairer complexion. But if you just want to add glow to your cheeks, you could easily layer this on top of Hen Party and just make it into a really pretty sort of glowy blush. Because this also, when you blend it out, is a lot less intense than it looks just swatched on its own. Now, I would say that I would love to pick up more of these because I like the formula so much, but I'm actually going to try to be good and not let myself do that because these are cream products. I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful about what I'm adding into my collection, knowing realistically how likely I am to use up that product before it expires. And cream products are just the kind of thing, like, they go bad way faster than powders. So if you load up on a bunch of them, you're basically kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit if your ultimate end goal is to actually use your collection before stuff goes bad. Another cream blush product that I have been absolutely loving is the Cosmetics Color Serum Drops blush. Is that what you're called? I don't even know if you say on this bottle. It's something like that. This is a liquid blush from Cosmetics, and I know a lot of YouTubers have been talking about this over the last couple of months, but honestly, it's for good reason because this is a lovely product. Again, something that blends in seamlessly into your skin. It looks really natural and healthy. So if you want just that very effortless, undone kind of makeup look, I think you would really like this. And now with this particular color, which is Sunset Sky, a little goes a very long way with this. So you really just need like one tiny little drop, and then it just blends out into the most beautiful, natural, glowy flush on your cheeks. Like, this to me is the blush of a Disney princess. You know what I mean? Like, you just imagine Snow White with the rosy cheeks. That is exactly what I feel like this blush is. And I also like that even though it has a very serum-like consistency, as a name would suggest, and it is a little bit dewy, it's not sticky, it doesn't feel tacky. If any of you guys ever used those Tarte blushes way back in the day, like the big cheek stain sticks, Those I feel like left almost a tacky, but like also kind of waxy feeling behind on your skin, whereas this is sort of more serumy, creamy, and even though it doesn't like completely dry down, it leaves your cheeks looking a little like juicy, it's not uncomfortable. It just looks really beautiful and it feels really nice. I feel like if you had dry skin, you would probably absolutely love this product, like especially if you were layering it over a luminous base and you weren't setting your face with powder. Gorgeous. So I had also picked up some other products from M Cosmetics when I placed that haul. I got one of their True Glosses and one of their Infinite Lip Clouds. Both of these are in the shade Faded Clementine, and both of these formulas I love so much. Now, it's kind of hard to say which of these is my favorite. Ultimately, I think it kind of comes down to whether or not you're in a liquid lipstick mood or a lip gloss mood. I think I've worn the gloss more just because in general, I've been leaning more towards glosses lately, but this formula is stunning. It's very pigmented, but not so pigmented that I feel like it's difficult to work with. It just glides onto the lips beautifully. It covers evenly. It's not streaky. It smells incredible. Like, you want to eat this lip gloss. It's delicious. And it just gives your lips this gorgeous shine. It's very gel-like. It's very soft. It's not sticky. It has a nice wear time where it you know, is going to fade. It's going to come off if you're eating or drinking, but it doesn't disappear after like an hour. It's just absolutely lovely. Like, pretty much everything I could possibly want in a gloss formula, this guy has, and I adore this color. I feel like it's a very unique shade. It's kind of this rusty burnt orange, which I feel like you don't see all of the time, and I love these tones. So if you are also into orange, highly recommend. And then the liquid lipstick I think is also beautiful. They don't have the same applicator, but they both are actually very easy to use. So the liquid lipstick has a traditional doe foot, but it has a little divot cut out of it, so it kind of like hugs the natural contour of your lip, which makes it really easy to apply. The gloss, I don't think I showed you guys, has one of those diamond tipped doe foot applicators. So this makes it really easy for you to create a precise lip line, which is especially helpful when you have a pigmented gloss formula. Oh my God, the smell of this also, I can't get over it. It smells like chocolate buttercream frosting. I live. Anyway, back to the liquid lipstick. So this formula, again, has beautiful pigmentation, super smooth, very creamy, almost has a moussey kind of consistency to it when you're applying it. And it dries down matte, but it's not the kind of matte where it feels like it sucked all the life out of your lips. It has a good wear time. It's honestly just a joy to use. I like this a lot. So let's move on to a couple of face palettes that I was sent in PR. I think these are really nice. So these are the latest launches from Juno & Co. They definitely have been branching out a lot more into makeup lately. They kind of started things out with their microfiber sponge, and then they had some brushes. Now they've got a few different makeup products, and I think these palettes are very nice. So they first of all have this really cute kind of like retro illustration on them. It gives me very like Marilyn Monroe 1950s vibes. And these are both face palettes. So they have the Cherry Bomb face palette, which is for light to medium complexions. So this guy has a bronzer, a blush, and then 2 highlights inside. I think the packaging is really nice. You get a good mirror in here. I love the rose gold. It feels very luxe. It doesn't feel cheap. It's got a good weight to it. And I feel like even though these pans are not gigantic, you're still getting like a decent amount of product in here. And then the other palette that they launched is called Bombshell, and this one is for medium to deep skin tones. And I originally had opted for this palette because the brand was only going to send me one of them, and I'm glad they ultimately ended up sending me the Cherry Bomb as well, because I think this is too deep for me, which is a great thing, because I feel like a lot of times if brands are going to launch multiple versions of a face palette for different complexions, If the medium and deep one works on me, it makes me a little dubious that it would work on someone with a very deep complexion. So let's just go back to Cherry Bomb, because this is the one that I personally have been reaching for on the regular lately. This is what I've been wearing to work like almost every single day for the last 2 weeks, because it's just so easy to work with. The bronzer in here is very, very smooth and silky, and it's got great pigmentation to it. So it shows up really well, but it also blends out really nicely. It's kind of hard to see on the back of my hand here. I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but it's definitely a more neutral to cool toned powder, which makes it really nice for contouring. And it's, I would say, a satin matte, because it has a slight sheen to it, but there's no sparkle. It doesn't glow, but it looks healthy and doesn't look flat and chalky on the skin. And then the blush in here is absolutely beautiful. This does have some radiance to it. It has like a little bit of a gold sheen to it, but again, no shimmer, no sparkle, and it just looks so beautiful and so healthy on the cheeks. I find that it blends out really nicely, doesn't make me look like a clown, and like the two of them together just like sculpt the face really effortlessly. And then you got two highlights. You have this really gorgeous champagne-y color, which I was originally afraid was gonna look too pink and icy, but it's not actually at all. Let me swatch this here for you guys. So this is the first highlight. Beautiful, right? Like, look at how blinding that is. And it's very creamy, very smooth, not too metallic, it's not shimmery. And then the other highlight, the one that almost looks white here in the pan, this one is extremely similar to the Fenty Diamond Bomb highlight, in which it's kind of just this very sheer, iridescent sort of sparkle that you could wear on its own, or you could layer on top of another highlight. I feel like it's not even really showing up that well in a swatch. It's hard to kind of see on camera. I feel like it definitely looks better in person, but I find this to be really pretty if I want to amp things up and have more of that shimmery look to my cheeks, because it's not glitter, but it's very, very, very fine sparkle. So when you layer it on top and, you know, your cheeks get hit with the light, like, it's gonna cast that nice little sparkly effect. So if you like that, you can add this guy on top. If you don't, you can just stick to the other regular highlight. But yeah, overall, in general, I think this is a beautiful palette. I believe it retails for $28. I might be crazy, which for a face palette is not bad. It's certainly not drugstore pricing, but I feel like the quality of this is definitely more on the mid-ranged end of things. Like, I think it's a fair price. And I also have a discount code with Junonko that will save you 10% on your orders. So I will have that information and these products linked for you guys in the description box if you're interested in picking them up. So this next product I have been thoroughly impressed by. I was clued into this by Jamie Page. If you don't know who she is, she's a YouTuber. She has a much bigger channel than me, and she is super cool, super chill, a fellow INFJ. I love her so much. And she had been raving about this mascara. So when I was placing a Sephora order one day and I saw there was a promo code for a free sample of this guy, that was like a no-brainer. I immediately jumped on it, and I finally started giving it a try, probably I would say 2 to 3 weeks ago, and let me tell you guys, this mascara is lovely. So this is from the brand Ilia. It's their Limitless Lash Mascara, and this is by far the best natural mascara that has ever graced my lashes. I'm wearing it right now, and I don't know if you will be able to truly see how awesome this is, but I feel like for days where I'm not wearing falsies, this makes my lashes look incredible. And this is the thing, I'm one of those people that likes my mascara to do something. I like having a lot of volume. However, I don't love it when my lashes all clump together and I only look like I have like 5 actual individual lashes. I do still like them to have some separation. So this to me is like the best of both worlds, because it does definitely add quite a bit of volume to my lashes, but it separates them beautifully. And I think the reason that happens is because of the wand that this thing has. It is very, very unique. On one side, it almost has what looks like a comb, and then on the other side, you kind of have that hourglass shape of little plasticky bristles. So on one side, you can really wiggle it in to the roots and get lots of product on the lashes and get a lot of volume, and then you turn it to the comb side and you comb the product through your lashes to get that separation. It is genius. It looks so beautiful. It does take a little bit more time though, I will say, because when you first put it on, it looks much more light and natural, and then you kind of have to build it on itself, but it builds so beautifully. It's not clumpy. I feel like every time, you go back, if you're going, from one eye to the other and layering it up, you just get even more volume, get even more little lashes appearing. It looks so fluttery, but also dramatic, and it's so nice. And it doesn't flake. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't irritate my eyes, it's a natural formula, so it's free of a lot of the chemicals that other mascaras have. It is honestly like one of the best mascaras I think I've ever tried. However, the full size is $28, which is very expensive for mascara, especially knowing that you're gonna have to repurchase it every 3 months. Like, that to me is a little bit painful. I know personally I have a ton of other mascaras on hand to test out. I got that Lash Stash set when it went on sale, so I don't think I'm going to be purchasing this anytime in the near future for that reason, but I would 100% repurchase this once I don't have so many mascaras in my collection, or if you are someone that doesn't have an insane makeup collection and wants just like one really good mascara, this one, man, it's great. I also have been really loving the Benefit brow products that were sent over to me last month. If you guys missed the video, I will link it for you up here in the cards, but I was sent this really cute box of Benefit goodies through like a partnership they were doing with Ipsy, and I have been testing everything out for the last month or so. I've been using the Hoola bronzer on and off and the Cookie highlight. Both of those are really nice, but I specifically wanted to talk about the brow products today because I think those are the things I've been using the most. In specific, the ones that I found myself reaching for are the Precisely My Brow Pencil, the 24-Hour Brow Setter, and the Gimme Brow. And I think I've gotten myself in a routine now with all three of these products to create a brow look that I absolutely love, especially for everyday makeup. So I'm wearing all three of these in my brows right now, and what I've found I like to do is go in with Gimme Brow first through the front to mid section of my brow, and this just kind of adds some fullness. It tints things a little bit, makes things look a little bit more even, because my brows aren't super sparse from like here to here. Where I basically have no brows is in the tail. So this I feel like is not the best for the tail of my brow because it's just not precise enough and it doesn't give me enough coverage. So what I'll end up doing is using just the Gimme Brow for the front because that keeps things looking a little bit more natural, and then go in with Precisely My Brow in the tail, fill that in, and then if there are any little spots, any gaps, anywhere where I need to clean things up, I'll just fill in a little bit with the pencil, and then I set everything down with this guy, and I'm good to go. And honestly, at the end of the day, like I have been going to work now, I leave my house at 7:30 in the morning, I get home at 6 o'clock at night, and if there are two things that have been left on my face that still look pristine, it's been my lashes and my eyebrows. So I definitely feel like I understand the hype around Benefit brow products because this is honestly the first time in a very long time that I'm really testing things out. The Precisely My Brow, I think, is an excellent brow pencil. The one thing I will say, it's very creamy and it's very pigmented, and part of the reason why I like the Gimme Brow in the front of my brow as opposed to using this pencil is that sometimes I feel like it can look a little too harsh, especially because my brows are naturally very fine. I don't have like coarse brow hair, so I feel like if I try to fill in the front with a pencil, it does look a little bit more blocky. The Gimme Brow kind of gives me just a softer tint, whereas in the tail of my brow, I feel like it doesn't look that harsh and I can get a lot more precision and I barely have to press on my skin. All right, we are in the home stretch, guys. I think I just have 2 products left that I want to talk about so this video won't end up being even more exorbitantly long than it already is. One of these products I like very, very much. The other one I did not like at all, and they are both eyeshadow palettes. This will probably come as no surprise to you, but I've been really enjoying enjoying my Nabla Dreamy 2 palette. I just used this on camera in a recent Getting Ready With Me video that I can link up here in case you haven't seen it yet. But this is a beautiful palette. It has some gorgeous, gorgeous shimmery textures in here that I feel like are perfect for everyday looks where you want to be a little bit more glam and then also much more sultry, dramatic glam looks. Like, I've had no problem wearing the shades from this palette to work on a daily basis. I just don't tend to reach for the like blue and purple shades or like the really, really dark tones, but a lot of the lighter shades I feel like are perfectly fine for a more everyday office appropriate look. Now, having used this a fair amount, there are a few things that I think are helpful to take into consideration if you're thinking about possibly picking this up. So first of all, there aren't really any traditional metallic foiled shades in this palette. Pretty much all of the shades that are in here that are shiny have a very sparkly texture to them. There are no pressed glitters, so there's nothing chunky in here, but every shade is very shimmery. So if you're someone that traditionally likes more of that wet, foiled metallic look to your eyelids, that's not what these shadows mostly are. These are gonna give you much more of that multi-dimensional sparkly look. There are also only 3 like true matte shades in here. They're called the Super Matte formula from Nabla. Then it's this shade up here, Deja Vu, then you have New Past and Pantheon, and they are all much more neutral shades. So that is definitely going to limit kind of like the types of looks you're going to be able to make just with this palette by itself. If you're someone that really likes colorful looks, there aren't any colorful mattes in here. You definitely could easily pair this palette with something else that has some colorful mattes in it. I think it would be an excellent like addition to an existing makeup collection in that respect. But if you are someone that wants a palette that you only have to reach for that, and you are someone that really likes colorful looks, this may end up being a little frustrating to you. Now, also to that point, if you are looking at these 3 shades, none of them are particularly deep. So if you're kind of concerned about like a deep matte shade, there are 2 latex matte shades in this formula, which is Offline and Dionysus. And this is a very unique formula from Nabla in that it is like matte-ish. These almost feel like a cream shadow to the touch. They almost are like wet, but they are definitely still a powder. They have some nice pigmentation to them, and they almost have like a sheeny sparkle like kind of embedded throughout them, but it's not the kind of thing that's going to look weird layered into your crease. It's like a very, very unique formula, and I've had no issues using these 2 shades in my outer corner to deepen things up the way I would use a traditional matte. Now, I will say this much. The actual Super Matte formula from Nabla is incredible as well. They are, in my opinion, some of the best mattes out there on the market. They are super saturated, super smooth, really, really easy to build and blend. I just like absolutely love them so much. So I am perfectly happy with the mattes in this palette. I am someone who, for like everyday looks, is usually reaching for these types of shades anyway, so I found them very easy to work with. Deja Vu is the perfect crease transition color on my skin tone. I absolutely love it. Where this palette really shines though for me, ironic, I did not mean that as a pun, are the shimmer shades. This one here called Rem is out of this world incredible. Let me just swatch this for you guys. This is just the most glittery, unique eyeshadow. And it's funny because, okay, looking at this swatched on dry skin, it doesn't look that impressive. It obviously has a very sheer base to it, and you've got this really beautiful kind of like blue micro shimmer running throughout. However, you apply this guy over a glitter glue, which is what I have been doing and what I would do with most like shadows like this, and it looks insane. Like, look at the difference there between those 2 swatches. Do you see what I mean? Like I said, this is not a traditional foiled metallic formula. If anything, it's like a pressed micro glitter. Like, it's not a chunky glitter like the ones that are in the ColourPop palettes. It's very, very, very fine shimmer, but there's not really any base pigment in it. So on its own, like, it's not that impressive, but you layer it on top of a tacky base and it is stunning. And what you'll find in a lot of Nabla palettes is that different shades have different formulations. So this one here is much more foiled with a bunch of shimmer running throughout it. So this swatches beautifully on dry skin. This shade also, same kind of deal. You don't really need to layer it over anything else, and it's just gorgeous all on its own. Those are the shades Amarcord and Mirabilla, by the way. So ultimately what it comes down to is, with Nabla palettes in general, I found you kind of have to get to know each of the shades and know what type of formula it is and how best to use it. But once you kind of figure the palette out, I've found that Nabla eyeshadows perform so beautifully and are just unique and pretty and are able to create such stunning looks. Today I'm actually wearing a combination of Nabla eyeshadows from the Soul Blooming palette and then some of the singles that I got. I'm wearing that shade Alchemy all over my lid, which is a really beautiful like blue pink duochrome. So yeah, all in all, I've been absolutely loving this. I think this is the palette I'll probably wear like on New Year's Eve, because to me this is like the perfect celebration night out palette with all of those shimmery shades. And honestly, even though there are so many things with that microfine sparkle in them, I don't feel like this palette has a ton of fallout, especially if you're applying things with your fingers versus using a brush. If you are concerned about it, you could always do your eyes first and then be able to clean things up. But again, if you use a tacky base, I feel like everything will lock into place really nicely and it has great lasting power. I hate to end things on a low note, but my final product that I want to share with you guys was very much a fail for me. This is something I mentioned months ago in my Ipsy haul. This is something that I was given from the balm when I was at Ipsy Live, and I really wanted this to work out for me because in theory I thought it was a really cool concept, but I do not think this palette is very good. So this is the Balm Pedal to the Metal Vavavoom Cream Eyeshadow Palette. This is the colorful version. They also have one that is a little bit more neutral, but essentially this is an 8-pan cream eyeshadow palette, and I was hoping that it would be fun to play with, you know, maybe get some nice sparkly shades to use as pops of color on the lid. Every single one of these is not just a straight cream, it's like a sparkly cream eyeshadow, and obviously, as you can tell from the Dreamy palette, I'm really into shimmery, glittery shadows, but this is unfortunately just very greasy, very sheer, very difficult to work with, and it creased on me so bad, which honestly is saying something because I very, very rarely have eyeshadows crease on me. Just the anatomy, the way that my eyelids are, they're not hooded. Usually I don't experience creasing. So if something creases on me, you know it's bad. And it's such a shame because like these colors are fun, and when you swatch them with your fingers, you're like, okay, these seem like they could be pretty decent. But I feel like when you actually like apply them and you blend them out, they're just kind of sheer, they're kind of patchy, they're not super impactful, and they just feel sort of oily and slip-slidey, and I don't know, I wasn't really impressed by them. And the balm products are not cheap, they're not drugstore, so I feel like for the amount you would spend for this, like, it really just does not perform at the level I would like it to. If you are looking for a cream eyeshadow formula, I would say you are so much better off getting one of the JCat Prismetal Chromatic Eye Mousses. Those are stunning. Also have a very similar kind of glittery finish, but are much more pigmented and beautiful. Actually, let me go grab you some. I'll show you the difference. So this is the shade Champagne Whiz from JCat, and these are like a moussey, glittery, foiled metallic shadow. Just like, look at that. That is what I want with a cream eyeshadow. Like, it's blinding, it's smooth, it's really intensely pigmented. It's not this sheer weak sauce situation from the balm, and these individually are $6 a piece. So yes, you're probably getting more shades in this palette for your money, but these go on sale. You can get these a lot of times for like buy one, get one half off. And honestly, you could probably just buy the couple of shades that you know you're going to use most often and spend less money overall, and it would just be more worth it. I mean, look at that. That is so beautiful. Like, can you see the difference? Do you see what I mean? All right, so I think that is everything that I wanted to share with you guys in today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, don't forget to enter the giveaway if you'd like to score some lovely home products of your own. If you like this video and you enjoy my beauty report series, make sure to give this one a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support so much. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you will consider clicking that button, coming back and hang out with me again. Like I said, I'm planning on filming a whole video all about skincare, basically 15 minutes from now, so stay on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'm sure I've kept you guys for way too long. My low battery light is flashing, so I gotta run. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.